Hi, I'm Jeff with Radical Honesty, and today I'm starting on a new series. I'll be talking about Roe v. Wade, pro-choice, pro-life. The reason I'm doing it, not that I want to be controversial, but it's going to be the controversial issue probably now until the end of the year, because there's going to be a Supreme Court decision on the Mississippi law, okay? And I believe that as a follower of Jesus on these big issues, we just can't pretend they don't exist. What do you feel like? As a follower of Jesus Christ, I'm not talking about civility in this world or, whether you can impose law upon people who do not follow Christ, but I'm talking about believers, what you teach in church, what would you counsel somebody? Now, this is going to be an introductory message because we need to know the complications of what's happening in the Union in the United States. You see, Roe v. Wade allows for a varying degree of application of abortion, the ability to cease the pregnancy. Roe v. Wade allowed that states cannot stop abortions in the first trimester. In the second trimester, the wording is very interesting. You can impose sort of different guidelines. So there's like a lot of states have varying degrees. Oh, it's viability, it's 20 weeks, 25 weeks, okay. But what's interesting about Roe v. Wade is that it said that you cannot stop a state who wanted to implement abortions to the very last day. States could stop it at the abortion at the second trimester, but it also said states can allow for abortions to the very last minute, okay, before the birth of the baby is born, okay, or the fetus, whatever you want to decide, how you want to choose your words, okay. And so this is really interesting because there are 3 states in the Union that are really moving beyond the confines of Roe v. Wade and moving into the first trimester. Mississippi, which was the Supreme Court decision they have to make, pushed back into the 15th week. Now, what's the 15th week of pregnancy? Usually people talked about like quickening. That's when the baby can move, can feel stimulus. And technically that's that's really pushing it early. It's before viability, you see. Then you have the Texas law, which puts it into when a heartbeat is detected, okay? They put that at around 6 weeks. Now, it's really pushing it into the first trimester, okay? Now, there's news that Oklahoma is going to put a law that life begins in conception. That's like the very beginning, okay? Now, what's very interesting is you see those states at one end because they hold to a more there's life, it's moving around, there's heartbeat, and then conception, into states in the Union that actually hold that you can have abortions to the very last minute. There are 6 U.S. states that hold to this. And also, we're going to put the 7th, the District of Columbia. Now, I gotta think about this because I don't have this memorized. But these 6 states, and the 7th is the District of Columbia, includes Alaska. It includes Vermont, I know, Oregon, New Mexico, New Jersey. And I think there's one or 2 more. I can't remember. But you see the extreme, you see. From the day of conception, okay, into the very last minute. Now that's big, okay? That's what makes this whole thing really, really very confusing. Now, I'm not going to say what the Supreme Court should do, okay? I'm not a lawyer, okay? I'm not study for the bar, okay? But I can tell you what a believer in Jesus Christ, a follower of Jesus Christ, should lean toward, okay? I'm not talking about Christians who my parents brought me to church and I was baptized when I was 5 years old, but I've never stepped foot in the church. But I still identify myself as Christian. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who truly want to follow Jesus Christ. What should we think about this? What should we think? Now I'm going to give you a story and end with this. Before I was connected with Cornerstone Church and doing these tapes and speaking more at the services and doing some intensives, I was with Peninsula Bible Church in Palo Alto. That was a Iconic Bible Church. I remember one of my early messages, I mentioned that I was pro-life. I'm going to tell you, I'm pro-life, okay? I got criticism from deacons that I should be pro-choice. I got to tell you, and I'm not talking about what the Supreme Court should do, should be the law of the land, but I have strong convictions that what those deacons said to me really disappoints Jesus Christ. Because one thing we know about following Jesus Christ, we are proponents of life, okay? Rather than the greatest virtue we have is to support a theology that allows you to decide what you want. We follow Jesus because our decisions and our goals can be fallen. And we need to put our wills and our decisions beneath the purpose and the intent of God who is in heaven. So I hope this brings some sort of clarity on what's happening in the Union. And I'm looking forward to the upcoming messages as I think about politics. I think about when life actually occurs, when you think about the biblical scriptures, when you think about, should you ever teach about it in your church? Someone, your own children say, I want to get an abortion, Dad. What would you say? So I hope that you find this helpful, practical, and timely, because this is going to be a major issue that will rock the United States.